we begin with the coronavirus emergency. Tonight, the first containment zone here in America, the New York governor imposing restrictions on a community just outside New York City, linked to the largest cluster of cases in the country, calling it a matter of life and death. The containment zone shutting down schools and major gathering places within a 1-mile radius in the New York suburb of New Rochelle. At the center of the zone, this synagogue, where dozens were exposed by a lawyer who remains in critical condition tonight. His wife now sharing her husband's struggle to find out that he was sick with the coronavirus. She says it took days for him to be tested after asking doctors at a hospital what was wrong with him. Tonight, across this country, there are at least 808 confirmed cases in 37 states and the District of Columbia, and 29 people have now died, 2 more just today. ABC's Whit Johnson leads us off tonight with the race to stop the spread, to save lives, and the battle over getting tests to everyone that should have them, with the National Guard now moving in that community. Whit leads us off.
Tonight, New York ordering the first containment zone in the U.S., with the number of infections in the state soaring to at least 173. The governor sending the National Guard to New Rochelle, a suburban hotspot north of Manhattan.
It is a dramatic action. This is literally a matter of life and death.
That zone of containment consisting of a 1-mile radius around the Young Israel synagogue, where dozens of people were exposed by that infected attorney. Schools and buildings that hold large gatherings will shut down for 2 weeks. Most businesses and grocery stores will remain open. People will be allowed to enter and leave.
You're not containing people, it's facilities.
The wife of Lawrence Garbuz, that attorney who was the first in the area to get the virus, releasing a statement saying, as many have asked, of course he went to the doctor and did so many times. No one figured it out, and it even took the hospital days to figure it out. This was all new, adding, please pray for those who are positive, who have had high fevers and suffered from this. Among the new cases statewide, 2 school bus drivers testing positive. Officials say they're now notifying parents.
They transport between them approximately 80 students on several routes.
A Barclays employee who worked on their trading floor contracting the virus. Today, neighboring New Jersey reporting its first death, a 69-year-old man with underlying medical conditions. That state is also where 32-year-old physician's assistant James Kai is hospitalized. Kai describing himself as previously healthy, but the virus is taking a heavy toll.
Half of my lung is already pneumonia, not working, only half. So I don't know how much longer I have to keep my lung working.
The spread leading dozens of schools and colleges to suspend in-person classes, including Amherst, San Francisco State, and Ohio State University. Today, Harvard announcing it will begin transitioning to online instruction. Just outside Dallas, a father, his wife, and 3-year-old have tested positive.
The 3-year-old gives us a little more concern than the father who's healthy in his late 30s, but we're praying for a quick recovery there too.
A man in his 30s in Anoka County, Minnesota, reportedly sought medical care on March 3rd. He was evaluated and released. Tonight, in critical condition after being diagnosed with the virus. COVID-19 delivering a massive blow to the airline industry. Delta announcing it will reduce its number of domestic flights by up to 15%. United 10%, and American 7.5%. Amtrak temporarily suspending several nonstop trains between New York and D.C. Our Gio Benitez on the rails.
It's usually tough to find an empty seat on the Amtrak Acela between New York and D.C. Not today. Just take a look. Seat after seat is empty.
Tonight, frustration reaching a boiling point over testing. This is what Vice President Pence pledged last week.
By the weekend, another 1 million tests will be shipped around the country.
But tonight, 6,600 tests conducted nationwide. Pennsylvania has done just 7 tests. Massachusetts declaring a state of emergency.
I know you're hearing from a lot of doctors, Whit, tonight who are concerned about not having the tests they say they need to test some of these patients presenting with severe symptoms. Here's what the vice president said from the White House just moments ago on those tests.
By the end of this week, there will be more than 4 million more tests made available in jurisdictions around the country. 1 million are already in place.
The vice president being pressed on all of those concerns you're hearing about from doctors on the front lines.
That's right, David. Many local governments are repeatedly complaining about backlogs and red tape. In fact, tonight we spoke to one doctor who says he has multiple patients who are showing possible symptoms and he still can't get them tested.